Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative, and you will see I have this big box on top of my table. I wanted to show you. This is a new ceramic resin that I bought off of, obviously, Amazon, that I want to try out. As mentioned, yes, I had seen some mixed demold in at Michael's when I was there. However, I haven't been back to see whether or not they are bringing it back or whatnot. This was less expensive. This has more with it. I wanted to try it out because I do want to have a backup for ceramic resin moving forward. I had bought some of the last of the Alumilite. I don't know if they're bringing anything back in. The mixed mold, I have no idea about it. And I don't know if Michael's would bring in something different. So I thought, well, if I want to keep working with a ceramic resin, then I got to find an alternative. I did do some research in Canada. I fell short on that. I don't know about any of you, but normally when you go looking for anything, Temu comes up, Amazon comes up, Michael's does come up, but it's sort of sporadic with Michael's. And I thought, I just want to be able to, I want to be able to make my stuff. I want to be able to find a product that's reasonable in price and that does the same thing that the other products have been doing. So there you go. Anyways, I wanted to show you I've not opened up the box, so we'll get going on that. And then I will be carefully lowering my camcorder back down so that we can see my table again. Okay, so we've got this little container now. I'm supposed to have more than just this little container. So hopefully everything that I ordered is in here and isn't, you know, sort of not, because it's not just supposed to be this. I'm going to have to get something to pry that up because I don't want to break my nails, and that's probably not going to work. So let me get this. I'll have to, yeah, I'm wondering if, interesting. So hopefully, and I'm not 100% sure how to get into this silly thing, so bear with me. I want to be careful I don't cut myself either. It's on this side. It's not clear cut as such to how I get into this. I just want to, nope, I'm going to end up breaking my nails. I know I'm going to do that. So just interesting that they're making this such a challenge. There is what looks like a tab here that I should be able to get into. But I'm not. It's one of those, I use the term, I'm not following the bouncing ball. I'm wondering if that's supposed to come off of that. I guess it's one of those things, if I can figure it out, then I can show you how exactly this is supposed to work. So there's this little piece over here on the side. You see that little knob? So I'm thinking once we have that, it's a bit finicky, eh? Oh, there we go. Okay, so you'll have to loosen, if you get this stuff, you'll have to loosen it off of the sides here. Okay, and then this pulls off. Okay, put my X-Acto knife back. Hopefully I don't need that anymore. Okay, interesting how they did this. All right, well, everything's here, and it's all covered in, you know, dust. So well, this is not how I would put this together, but hey, what do I know? As for the brand, it's Limino, Limino, L-I-M-I-N-O, and Eco Resin casting powder. Now, I'm laughing because I'm seeing what's in here. I think you're going to laugh too when you see this. This is too funny. I can't even believe that they did not put this stuff in a bag. So they've put everything inside here. Oh my good Lord. I definitely would not have done this. If I was packaging this up, I would not do this because this is just sad. I can't even. So this is how it looks on the inside. Like they haven't put, like even if they had put everything into one plastic bag, I would have been totally cool with that. But to just, like, really? That's how you put this together? So everything needs to be cleaned off. Everything needs to be cleaned off. So let me just get out. So we, oh, just give me a second. Oh, yeah. Okay, so maybe you pay for what you get. You get what you pay for. However, I mean, seriously, yes, I have an issue with this. I am taking issue with this. So we'll just put these out here. What do we got? We have a gloss varnish. All right. Now, I'm not sure what that is on the side. There's this little mark. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's not a crack, but I can always put this in something else. Oh, it almost looks like there are brush or paintbrush hairs in that, which is interesting. Oh, it's got a little brush in it. Maybe that's what this is from. Okay, let me wipe this up. I'm gonna have to wipe it up anyway. So you might as well come along on the journey with me, right? I'm gonna leave you up high for a moment, and then we'll bring it back down at some point. Well, at least you know what you're getting, right? Oh, I'll laugh my way through this video somehow. So those will be I wasn't really expecting them to have a actual brush in here. So, and this is not something, if I were, you know what, we'll try it out, but I'm not going to use that brush. That's a really messed up brush. So I'm not going to use that. But we'll put that off the side. They did give us varnish, which I thought was a cool idea. So I do appreciate getting varnish. And then we have, I'm guessing, these are going to be, this is just bizarre. You know that? Just bizarre. Anyway, let's see. I'm wondering if these are gloves. And how much did I get in here? This is 50 ounces. I'm thinking these are probably gloves. I just take out one to see if it is. And then we'll just clean up. I'll clean up the rest later. Or maybe this is, yes, these are gloves. Okay. So I got four gloves. There's more plastic in here. I can't even. Okay. I'll stop saying that. We'll just clean these off. I was going to try and save some of that, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just put these off to the side, and I'll pour what's in the cup back in. All right. Yeah, see, not putting these in a bag or having it separate seems very bizarre to me. Okay, so we've got a measuring cup. We also have, and I'm going to have to take these into my other room and wash these out just because they're, yeah. I'll definitely be giving a review on that on Amazon. So we've got these little cups, the ones like we use for pouring resin. And I don't know how many of them are there, but I'm feeling pretty sure I'm going to have to like wash these up properly to get all the product off of them. So we'll put them off to the side. We have a scoop, which comes with most of them, right? And there's a plastic bag in here. I'm not really sure what I've got in here. Like, this is just nuts. So I may not, even if this product is good, I may not order it again, just because this is, to me, I can't even. Okay, so we have paints as well. So thankfully, I mean, they were smart enough to put these in protective plastic. So that's a good thing. So we have these. I'll get them out of here so you can see what colors are. They're the primary colors. And they're the little paint containers that, if you remember, I do as a little girl, using paint that came out of containers. So these are their pigments. So I'm kind of curious on trying them out. I am so hoping that isn't what I think it is, because that's just going to be a disaster to get out of here. So I've got 2 of the paints. I almost wish I were out in my garage right now, because I wouldn't care about the dust getting all over the place out there. They even put, like, the stir sticks that they included. So there's 2 of these. The stir sticks that they included aren't even in plastic. They're just on their own. So I was not expecting it not like this. So I'll have to wipe all of those down. My scissors. So let me just get these all somewhat cleaned up. Like, you normally expect to open up a package, and I've got to let my hands dry off now. Oh, is there another stir stick in there? So 4 stir sticks. Now, there's a bag in here, and I'm almost wondering, oh, you know what I think happened? Oh, now I'm following the bouncing ball. You know what? Somehow, all right, okay. Somehow, this bag was, yeah. There's a bag in here. And I was thinking, oh, please don't let this be a tablecloth, because that's just going to be a complete, you know what. So for what it's worth, and I'm going to have to go out to my garage and do this, because there's no way I'm going to be able to pull this off in here. Let's do it like this. So there is a bag in here, okay? So we're going to carefully lift this up, and I'm thinking somehow, some way, either the bag ripped. Yeah, the bag ripped. The bag ripped, and that's why I've got the mess that I have. The actual plastic bag that they have this product in has ripped open, and probably in more than one spot. Hopefully you can see that. See in here? Like, it's ripped open. And I don't know if it's in more than one spot. I can't do this in the house. I'm going to have to take this out to the garage. I will bring the bag back in. Like, once I've got it, I'll bring the bag back in and I'll show it to you. I'm thinking that that's what's happened. Somehow when it was manufactured and put together, that bag got ripped. And of course, then in transportation, we got stuff all over the place. So, yeah, I'm going to lower you back down in order to get you to the height I need you to be when I come back in. But yes, I'm most definitely taking this out to my garage, because this is not fit to be doing here. And hopefully this is like a one of, and this isn't normal across the board. Like, this was unsealed. This had not been opened. If it had been opened and I'd noticed that, then there would have been a big deal for me. However, somehow this bag has has been ripped open. And then, of course, everything got covered. So I'll bring you back down so we're lower, because I just want to get you down more level with the table so we can see more of it. I'll leave it there. Give me a few minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, back. My table's been cleaned up. I've got some of the product in here. I did bring in the bag. I wanted the bag because I want to send a letter to the company, or just a quick email just letting them know because of my issue. So the bag, if it had been sealed, none of this craziness would have happened. So I will take a picture. So somehow, without trying, so here's this is where the rip is in the bag. So it was down at the bottom. That's about a 3 inch, gap in the bag where it was split open, and that's why I had everything covered. So if that hadn't happened, we'd have been good. Everything would have been the way it was supposed to be, and I wouldn't have been sort of freaking out. I admit, when you open it up and you see it that kind of a mess, you're going, what the heck? Why don't they have this stuff, sealed up properly? But this is why. The bag had gotten ripped somehow when it was getting put into the container. So, as I say, I will be reaching out to the company and I will be documenting that on Amazon. All right. I have now out my powder. I have 180 grams of that. I have my trusty little, down here, my trusty little tea light mold that I love using for any leftovers, because it's just, you have no idea how many of those little things I have. They're so cool. I did open one of these up. These are more like a paste than something runny. The other ones I've got, like the ones that are meant for the ceramic resin, I mean, they're liquids. They're not a paste. And this is more like a paint. Like, to be totally honest with you, this is more like a paint. We're going to mix, and I want to do this. I'm going to be doing this mold. Okay, we're going to be doing this mold. I think I need to lift up my camera. We're going to do this mold, and I want to do it in yellow. I was going to do some mixed colors, but decided not to. I'm just going to lift you up a little bit here so we can see more of my table. That's better. Okay, so we're going to just use the yellow, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by it's more of a paste, it's more of a paint than it is. And I did open the yellow already. I did stir it up a little bit. Okay. And so as you can see, there's nothing liquid to that as far as, like, it's more like a paint. We'll mix that into the water as opposed to trying to mix it in there later on. I think we'll do both of these. Just getting out my beaters, if you will. So we'll mix it in here. Now, the other thing I noticed is that these sticks that came with it, so these are the sticks that came with the product. These are, well, what I consider the normal size for these popsicle sticks. So I was kind of surprised that these were that much smaller. I'm not sure I'm going to use these. I just wanted to show you that they are smaller than the normal size popsicle sticks that I have. And then I have the great big ones, the tongue depressor ones as well. Okay, let's get some of this yellow mixed into, and I'm not going to use that one. I'm actually going to use one of my long sticks. So I did mix it up a little bit already. So I'm not sure how yellow this is going to go. So it looks pretty pigmented, okay? It does. So we'll take a bit, and one could almost say that's more orange than or yellow. So let's see how this mixes in. Yeah, see, it's not even dissolving in the water. I kind of had hoped that was going to do it. So we will wait. I will mix it in with that. And again, I mean, with what this cost, if I don't use this product, like the paints and whatnot, not a huge deal to me. I'm sure I can find some other use for them, but I am kind of surprised that's not dissolving. So I guess I better put it in here, and we'll see what happens. Turn this over so it's the right way. And we'll use our big scoop or a big big blender. And oh, I read the directions. Okay, so I should bring that into point. It's basically the same as all the other ones are. There was nothing, you know, unusual. It said you could demold in 20 to 30 minutes. Because of the piece that I'm doing, I will be letting it sit longer than that. They commented that if you use less water than what is recommended, that you have less time to work with it, which, yeah, that makes sense to me. If you put in a little bit more water, then you have more working time. Again, I kept this as it is with all the others that I have worked with. I'm not changing that up at all. As usual, make sure you get around all the sides. I'm seeing somewhere I didn't get, and I probably need to bring in my little blending tool now so I can get this. Yeah, I'm really surprised that paste that they included wasn't breaking up, and I'm hoping I can do it in this product. If not, then I definitely won't be using them in that regard. Okay, let's get this in and see what how we can blend this in, if it's going to blend in. Hopefully, maybe it needs to be in the product to blend, which is quite possible. It is breaking up. I know you can't see it very well, but it is breaking up. It's really not changing the color much. Okay. I mean, it does have a tinge to it, and I don't know if it's going to, whatchamacallit, get darker. It might. I would almost think you would have to use the whole little container thing to get it. Now, I am rubbing it against the sides because I can still see pieces of it. I'm not sure I would use this unless I could break it down into water or something like that before I put it in, because I don't want little flecks of it in my ceramic resin. Yeah, that I don't want. And I don't have any other color really close by to be able to put a different brand in there. So let me get a bit more of this and we'll mix it in. See if we can't get a little darker. But yeah, it definitely has to be, like, you really want to make sure you blend this in well if you're going to use their product, their coloring, if you will. Yeah, I think I'll get my other, I mean, it's turning it into a sort of a nice cream color. And of course, I don't want to, you know, you want to make sure you can blend it, get it all blended in before you start having to be concerned about it starting to harden. And I can still see flecks in this. Okay, it's a pretty color. I mean, if that's what you're going for. Okay, I'm gonna have to pour this, and you might be able to see them. Okay, but let's get this poured. And I at least want to make sure that I get it. And because it's letters, that's why I'm going to let this sit longer than what they're recommending for time. Because I don't want, oops, I don't want to break it. And I am moving it along so that I can fill it up and get the, work on getting all the letters at the same height. And then we'll bounce it around a little bit. And I'm definitely going to have some left over. So I'll be filling up my, once again, little tea light. I'm going to have to find something else. I seriously am. I mean, how many tea lights does a person need? Okay, let's just put that there. It is starting to set. I shouldn't have moved it like that. That's okay. I can fix that up later. I do need to mix this up a little bit more and then pour the rest of it into. I have too much here. I could have probably gotten away with what I thought in the first place, which would have been about 150. All right, I'll pour the rest into my cute little container here. I'm just going to bounce this around a little bit. It is a pretty color. I will give you that. As much as I'm not fussy on the fact that it's the way it is, and I'm going to have to find something else because guess what? I really have too much, don't I? Okay, I'll make one of these. Always have leftovers. Always have something else you can pour things into, right? And then like with my bowl, you have to make more. I know, it makes no sense whatsoever, does it? All right, let's get these poured in here. Make a bunch of these and I can make necklaces out of these. I've made some nice necklaces with this mold. Now, yeah, these ones I'll leave as well, just because they've got the, oh, I'm making a mess now. Let's see. I don't really want to try and put it into the small ones there. Yeah, see these little sticks, they're hard to work with because they're not long enough. All right. And I don't know if you can see in my dream the orange here. So let me just, again, with my pointer. So I'm going to actually see if I can't just get those pieces out. Yeah, not easily. All right, I'm just going to leave them and I will deal with them later. We will let these set up and then we will come back in probably about, I'm going to say 2 hours. I'm going to let this stuff have, we can come back in about half an hour and make sure that, they've set up, because they say with, about what did they say on the container? It was, just let me find that, 20 to 30 minutes is demold time. Fully cured is 2 to 6 hours. Anyway, we'll let this stuff set up. I don't like these. These little sticks are not working for me. They're too small, so they're going. I have more sticks than I know what to do with, so it's not a big deal. Anyways, we'll come back in a half an hour and see if it actually is set, but we're going to let this stuff sit for about 2 hours. So go get yourself a coffee, tea, wine, whatever it is you're like to drink, and we will be back. We are back at the half-hour window and a little past that. Again, these two molds I'm not going to touch. I just no. I mean, these are probably really thick and may not break, but I just, you know what? I don't want to be making things and then trying to take them out and have them break. So we're just going to take that and leave it over there for a couple hours, as I said. These I'll leave as well because we've got these. I mean, they're meant as pendants or earrings, and again, I don't want to break them, okay? Now, I have noticed, and this is not anything that's unusual, the sort of scraps I was pulling out of my container and dripping in here, I can see the shadow of them in here. And to me, that's no big deal because I know I can sand this stuff down really easily. And I think that's one of the benefits of the ceramic resin is the ability to, if there's something in the mold, you can work around it with ceramic resin, whereas with resin, you're not as fortunate with that. I mean, I've got the bowl that you saw me make that had the scratches on it. If I sand that down, then I technically would have to recover the entire bowl with resin in order to cover it up. And I guess I could try buffing it out. On something like that, I'm not up for doing. I have reported it back to Temu. I have gotten a credit for that bowl, and I'll just, buy something else from Temu and, be a little more aware of, some of the issues we're having with the molds, as I pointed out to you. All right, this piece I'm going to take out just because I know it's a piece that I can, get out relatively easily with, no issues or potentially no issues. So let's get this out. These have hardened up. I mean, now you can't even hear that, can you? So they are hard. They have set up, so half an hour is good. I did send a message off to this company and mention to them just about the bag so that, maybe something they want to keep in mind for future. And I included the pictures of their product as well as the bag. I maybe should have taken a picture of it when I opened it up, but I didn't do that. But you can easily see the bag and how it got marked up. So here we are. We're going to put that, I'm going to let this just sit here on these so it can get air underneath it. All right, we're going to let that sit. We'll see if it gets any darker. It's hard to tell. It looks a little more yellow, if you will, up around here at the sides. But I mean, it's a pretty butter color, if you want to call it that. We'll let it sit, and I'm just trying to think if there's something else. I do have my, you know what? Give me a second. Here, might as well just. Now, I do want to point out though, because it happened with one of mine, and I think it's this dish over here. I just want to bring to your attention something, and it wasn't something I thought would occur. So this dish that I had done, can you see the lines here? Okay. Those are from my cookie rack. I wanted to let you know that. That's why I'm kind of hedging on putting it just on these popsicle sticks, because, I mean, those lines are sort of right in there. And for me moving forward, I'm going to be really aware of what I place some of my projects on, because I don't want those lines on there. I mean, granted, this might be something you could cover up, you'd paint, whatever. I just thought I would point that out to you. I always think it's helpful to give you sort of things I've noticed in case you haven't, or in case you're going to start working with it. You really don't want to have those lines on the bottom. So for me, yeah, I mean, I make these all the time, but I am going to just leave it on here. It's up enough to get some air around it. Yes, it's not wide enough to do anything else, but I will leave it like this so it can get the air around it. We will come back in a couple of hours, hour and a half now, and we will work on taking these other pieces out of the mold. Our designated time is up. We will take these pieces out of the molds. They definitely will have had enough time now to set themselves up correctly. And we'll want to make sure that they are given their full day to dry out. These would break. I know I could break those really easily if I were to give that the old-fashioned, and I would expect them to break too if it were with any of the others, regardless of the fact there's still water in them, but because they aren't very thin. That's maybe 1/4 of an inch thickness on that. So yes, something like that would be relatively easy to break. Now, let's see if I can get my dream. Now, I did notice, so this is one of the unfortunate things is that the thickness of my dream is going to be different because I don't have as much of the product down here as I do up here. So that's something I need to pay attention to moving forward. And just a tip for you is just to make sure that when you're filling these in that you get level. Like, I mean, I did go up and through the letters and whatnot, but I didn't get it set properly as far as getting it the same level all the way across. That's easily, for this, it's easily done because we know we can sand this down and it should sand easily. I won't do that until this has had, the proper time to dry out, like, at least, well, it'll be 24 hours, but definitely it'll be easy enough to do. Now, I really want to be careful. I don't want to break this. I know it's really thick, but that doesn't mean it can't be broken, and I don't want to break it. So we'll see if we can't. I'm trying to think which is the better way to go on this. And if we can get it going, we'll probably be okay. Right. Let's see if do it like this way. I think I'd seen someone else do this. Oh shit. Oops. Did I say that? I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that. Shh. Sugar plum fairies. That's the word. I just want to be. I think I did break it. I can't tell. It feels like I have, which is going to be really unfortunate. Yeah, I did. I did break the dream. All right. Yeah, so you got to be careful with this stuff, eh? It's like, what's the and it's a little stuff like that. Now, I may be able to get this back together. But yeah, it's unfortunate when you're trying to take these things out. I was hoping I hadn't. Maybe I should have picked a better mold, eh? One that, and you always think, you make these things so thick that it wouldn't break, but if we don't break it again, that'll be a really good thing. Because we can find a, now I know Steve McDonald, when he had done it, he hadn't broken something, he was attaching ceramic resin onto another piece of ceramic resin, and he made a paste for it to have it, I was to have it stick together. I'd figured if I was going to break anything, it was going to be that A. So we still can see though, and this is why I don't want to use their paste or their paint, whatever you want to call it going forward, is because of spots like this. And I had tried picking that out and I did a very poor job doing it. But yeah, I mean, this is the front, so fair enough, but I don't think I would use their paste again. So let's just, that's too bad. Too bad, too bad, too bad. I may have been better leaving it for 24 hours. And I'd really like to glue that together now. I'm just not 100% sure on doing that right now because it's damp. But I have to admit, I'd really like to give that a go. You'll have to stay tuned to my Facebook channel in regard to that. I don't know whether to try and make that work now. I mean, I think it's going to need something like a glue, whether I use the bonding product by Let's Resin or my B7 or 6000. I think it's going to need something that's got a little bit of oomph to it, and even potentially the epoxy, the 5-minute epoxy might work on this. But again, would have to be very careful with the amount used so it doesn't, sort of ooze out all over the place. That's unfortunate. Oh, it's so close. So close. Anyways, let's turn the dream and put it together. And I can see myself trying to figure out ways I could decorate this so that it's not just so plain. Okay, so my overall review is I see this product as not being any different than the other products out there. It was unfortunate that the bag within the container had gotten ripped open one way or another, because obviously with all the travel that would have gone, this is a product that's made in China. It would have gotten bounced around a lot, so that explains fully why it looked the way it did when I opened it. I'm not fussy on the pastes. I won't use those. I'll find some other use for them, maybe even for just decorating after the fact. So I won't be using those. The varnish, that'll be an interesting thing to try. I'll have to, and I'll do this in a different video. Again, I've been very negligent in doing a video on actual sealers for these. The one turtle that I made out of ceramic resin last year, I actually went to Michael's, and they have, in my store, they have the PBO spray paint on sale for $5 a can. I bought some of it because I wanted to see what it was like. I figured for the price on it, I was willing to try it. It's a nice paint, a nice spray paint. I was actually very impressed with it. I got one that's a glitter, and I don't know if I'm close enough to reach it. Just give me a second. I always like showing you things. I don't know if you find this stuff helpful when I show you different things, or I, tell you different things I've done, but I just figure, you know what? If I can share with you and it's helpful, great. If you don't find it helpful, then you skip through the video and get to the point where you want to be. Anyway, I had hoped to maybe find a PBO spray paint that was clear. They didn't have one. Whether PBO doesn't have one, I don't know. I got one of the Sparkle spray paints, silver, and sprayed it on one of my ceramic resin turtles. And the reason I did that was I want to find a sealer. There's certain things I'm doing, projects I'm working on right now, that if I were to try and use a brush or even my hand, to put UV resin or whatnot on pieces, I'm going to ruin the design just because of the type of material. It's water-based materials I'm using. So too, I bought the spray so I could put it over top of the turtle. And then what I want to do is see about using either a UV resin or one of my sealers to go over top and see if the spray paint has actually sealed this in enough that my color won't be spread around. So I don't know. I haven't done that yet, but I made this one sparkle. I know some of you aren't necessarily into the whole sparkle, but I did that for a reason, and it's not going to work on every piece I've got because I don't want sparkle on everything, but I did do it on the turtle, and I will see about putting a coat of something on that. Right. So where was I going with any? Oh, the varnish. Right. I will give this a go on something just to see whether it's any good or not. Again, as I mentioned, the tip on this, the brush on this isn't, I mean, that's a really poor looking brush by all accounts, right? I mean, it's not flat. Yeah, do I have anything here that I don't care about? That's always the thing, right? Finding something that you don't care about to put it on. I don't know. Well, we can try it on here. I don't know how well. These are lips. I'm sure I showed you those lips in a previous video. Anyway, too bad about the dream, but we'll let it cure up, and then I'll see how I'm gonna, because if I put this back together, yeah, there's gonna be pressure on it, but we'll see if I can't fix it up. So let's just see about this in here. Boy, that's really coming out fast. I think using a brush like this, I guess it depends on how picky you are as far as brushing stuff on. I would suspect that it's going to leave marks on it because it's not a good brush. And as we could see, there were pieces of it that had come off in the bottle. Just going to get over top of these and then, yeah, I think if you were just doing general and didn't care, this might work. Oh, oh yeah. So there we have it. Get that back in really well. Yeah. So I'll have to play with that a little bit just to see if it's even worth using, or I could use it on something that I, isn't important to me, isn't going to a client, and what have you. So I'll let that just sort of soak in, and then maybe I can give you an update on that later. But I can see brush strokes in that. But we'll see. I'll see how it dries up, and I'll let you know on my Facebook page how it does. And I'm thinking a better brush would work better. Anyway, that's my video. I just wanted to try out this product. The powder is not going to be an issue for me. I feel it's going to work just as well as any of the other powders. I might see as well if I could just get the powder and skip all the extra stuff that came with it, because I truly don't need it. I really, really don't. And then I will get around to, like the many other things I've got to get around to, decorating these up. I still have the resin pieces I did in another video that I still have to do something with. I saw them and went, yeah, I still have to work on them. I get ahead of myself, and well, hopefully I'm not the only one in that boat. Anyway, that is our video. Yes, I will use that product. I will look online to see if I can just get the powder, and I will make note of that for you if that is a possibility. I reached out to the company. I let them know about the issue with when I opened it up, and you got to see the dust bowl of that one. And I'm going to see if I can't fix my dream and put it back together, and then do something interesting and fun and light with it, so I can put this dream up somewhere in my room and have it as a reminder for myself to keep pursuing my dreams, my creative dreams, whatever other dreams I've got, and I hope you do the same. Thank you again for watching my video, for being part of my channel. We are almost to 1,100 viewers, which is great. I'm very excited about that. I look forward to getting up to 12 once we get to 11. Anyway, thank you for coming along on this journey, and I will see you at the next video. Bye for now.